YouTube community, Vince Guaraldi fans, random people on the internet. My name is Giggens, and we are here today to talk about the brand new release, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. The first time the soundtrack has ever been released in any format. Surprisingly enough, this follows a run of highly successful and very fun to listen to reissues from the Vince Guaraldi Peanuts world, if you will. Last year, or in the last couple of years, we've gotten the Halloween one. Before that, they redid the Christmas one. So it's really cool to see them continuing this trend because when they announced that Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, I was like, all right, so they're really going for it now. They're looking for like the iconic movies that we've seen, the shows that we've seen, and putting out these soundtracks by going back, finding the original master tapes, remixing, remastering them, and they sound absolutely phenomenal because you gotta remember, these tapes were used basically once for the show, and then that was kind of it. So the degeneration, if you will, doesn't really exist on these tapes. So they sound so fresh and so vibrant. And to hear them out of context out of the show, no sound effects, none of the Peanuts characters talking over them, just the music as it is, it's such a joy to listen to. And the great part about this is there's so many alternate takes and bonus mixes, and they really capture every single bit of music from the episode, which is kind of why I love these releases. They give you everything. It's like you always kind of hope you'd get like, oh, I wish they would have added that to it. I wish they would have added that to it. But on this one, if you want, 8 different versions of Thanksgiving theme, they're on here. I absolutely love this record because this shows Vince Guaraldi changing with the times and understanding what the pop music scene was like, understanding where he felt he belonged in the jazz world, and incorporating some new players into his field to create something absolutely phenomenal. And the fact that this was all done for a cartoon, about Snoopy making dinner for everybody, it blows my mind. I mean, you gotta remember too, A Charlie Brown Christmas is the best-selling jazz album of all time. I'm pretty sure. If I'm wrong about that, somebody correct me. But like, everybody has a jazz album in their collection if they own that one record. So to hear what we know of Vince Guaraldi doing his jazz thing, but incorporating a more funky feel, you got Mike Clark on drums now, who would later go on to work with Herbie Hancock. The clavinet, which is really popular instrument, Stevie Wonder sort of pioneered in the early '70s, late '60s. That feel, that dramatism, that funk, that uh, emphasis on the hi hat shuffle and the drums makes for a fascinating listen because you get the elements of Vince Guaraldi that you know and love, but with new instruments and new players. So it's familiar, but it's also very exciting new territory for these guys to tackle, and you can hear the excitement as they play. You know that they're onto something really cool. They're really cooking here. So it opens up with Charlie Brown Blues. Real smooth piano tinkering. It's kind of classic Vince Guaraldi. You know his style. If you've seen the Christmas special, you know what that piano sounds like. It's very calm, good drum accents on the snare, a nice gentle track to open the record with, and then a couple different versions of Thanksgiving theme. And that theme does run throughout. And one of the things I love about Vince Guaraldi is like he knows how to write a riff that gets stuck in your head, whether it's Linus and Lucy or Peppermint Patty. These little tiny earworms he creates live with you, and you know that they love them because, like, specifically Thanksgiving theme, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 or 11 different versions on this album that alternate between fast versions, slow versions, long versions, 30-second jams. And through each take, you hear the excitement because you know they're doing something different every single time. And that fire must have been like, ooh, we're doing something kind of fun here. Which brings us to Peppermint Patty, track 4 on side A, which does come up again in a bonus mix on side B. Peppermint Patty's a song that he enjoyed playing and was in a bunch of the specials back in the day. It's a great pop rock, dreamy song. It's more than a jazz song. It really feels almost like I'm not going to be even close to what I'm saying here, or I'm not going to get this right. It's almost chill wave in that it's got this atmospheric, dreamy, longing, yearning sort of feel. The track for me sounds like deep thinking. It feels like trying to figure out something. And not necessarily being upset that you can't find an answer, but like just kind of confused as to why you can't find an answer. But there's also like a certainty with that uncertainty, if you will. I love the feel of this track. I'm trying to find the right words for it as I continue listening to it, but Hearing the dynamics on this song are just phenomenal. It breathes so well. I mean, the clarity, the crispness on the drums, the most minute detail of piano playing. You hear everything so cleanly. They did a fantastic job bringing these tapes to life. Little Birdie follows that up next, and it's one of the very rare songs in the early days of Peanuts movies to have vocals on the track. Um, and I love that the horns kind of give a touch of what Woodstock would sound like if he was talking. So that's a nice little touch. It sounds like Woodstock. Just a funky classic. I mean, those drums are so smooth. Is it James or Charlie? Love this. This is where it starts to sound like a Stevie Wonder jam. That clavinet works so well with that guitar, that hi-hat shuffle. The whole thing is a funky, soulful jam, and I love it. And Fife and Drums theme is exactly what you think it is, Fife and Drums. Um, Side 2 really incorporates almost everything you heard on Side A, but different versions of it. So for instance, with Charlie Brown Blues, it's just pretty much a reprise of what you had the first time. And then the myriad of Thanksgiving interludes. There's a fleshed out jazz version. There's one with just brushes on the drums. There's a really quick, fast one that's like 12 seconds long. Alternate takes of things we heard on the first one. It's fascinating they recorded so much for this album, or for this TV special. And you have them all here. Linus and Lucy, which is a song I skipped on the first side because talking about it on the first and second side makes sense. This is the version that I remember hearing as a kid for the first time and just loving, because it takes the elements of what we know from the song and just makes it funky. It adds these extra beats. It adds this extra soul and rhythm, and the drums take it to a whole different level of expression. It's amazing how you can take a riff that is so well loved and make it just as interesting in the next decade. They nailed it. It's one of the best songs on the album, not just because it's something we all know, but to be able to take a hit song and like reimagine it and have it still be a hit, that takes talent. At the very end, you get a track called Clark and Guaraldi, which is just Mike Clark and Vince Guaraldi jamming together, drums and piano. And it's just an outtake. It's nothing anything serious. And the people who put this together, Shawn Mendelsohn did the liner notes for it. They just called it Clark and Guaraldi. It's just a jam. But even being just a jam, it's another memorable hook. It's something that wasn't necessarily meant to be released. And here we are with yet another memorable Vince Guaraldi hook. They nailed it. Here's the back cover. Snoopy taking care of dinner there. Great shot. Let me show you the insides here. So you get really nice inner sleeve here with some stills from the show and the tape recording boxes and some of the liner notes on the boxes themselves. And then the actual liner notes here, it talks about getting together. The guys got together in the summer, in August and September of 1973. This thing came out in November of 1973. So they only recorded for a few days, but they found a rhythm with each other that you can tell that they were like really hot on. And the record itself is a gorgeous bright green. So overall, I'm extremely impressed with it. It's been a home run, the last few releases they've done, to go back, find these original master tapes, clean them up, give them a bath, if you will, and just make them sound as vibrant and beautiful as possible. It really is incredible the amount of work that went into producing a jazz record for a TV show, cartoon. It's a mind-blowing combination, but it's something that at this point we just take for granted because it works so well. It works so well. And hearing the music on its own, without the chatter, without the sound effects, it just works on its own. You can just put this on, just enjoy it for what it is. Not necessarily even think about Thanksgiving. Obviously, it'll come up if you're a fan of the show. But just hearing it on its own, it speaks for its own merit. It's an incredible group of guys making some fascinating pop jazz that's meant to be digestible, but it's also got a really crazy amount of construction and sophistication and talent that went behind the making of these songs. There's nothing easy per se about creating this music, but the fact that they make it sound easy is a very Beatlesy move. They nailed it. I absolutely love this thing. 10 out of 10 for me. If you ask me, I could put this on at any point of the day, any point in the year, and enjoy it all the way through. So 10 out of 10. Vince Guaraldi, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving original soundtrack recording. Let me know what your thoughts are on this record below if you've heard it. If you're a fan of the TV special, let me know. Let's talk about Snoopy for a while. Happy Thanksgiving if you're watching this in November around Thanksgiving time, or if it's like some other random year and you're watching this in like June of 2025 or something. Hi, hello. This is me in 2023 wishing you a happy Thanksgiving. So there you go. My name is Giggens. This has been Vince Guaraldi, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, a 10 out of 10. Why not? Snoopy, man, come on. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Bye.